Good evening, and thank you very much, all of you. Being a last session and last speaker, I really mean it. And thank you very much, ARC, for making all these good things that are happening today. Okay, finally we are here on the ETO2WIN. For the last 2 days, we actually discussed a lot about data, technology, data mining, manufacturing. Okay, by and large, the principle, what it means is, how do I extract the data at the right time for the right person? And then it actually means how I can actually apply this one to the right division. So this is what actually we all are talking about. I'm also actually going to talk about the same things, but rather than a plant perspective, I'm going to talk about the product perspective. So that's what the difference is going to be. A couple of weeks back, we were talking about ETO2WIN, which is the solution which is jointly developed and then promoted by both Siemens and TCS together. Siemens actually come out with Team Center, with your NX and RollStream platforms, and with TCS comes up with best-in-class implementation methodologies and then practices. We put our things together, and then by that it is going to be best-of-the-breed solution for most of the engineer-to-order companies. So we will talk about the business context and the rationale behind how we have actually evolved this kind of solutions, and what is the definition and the theme, and then we will also try to simulate the environments. People who are actually already in the PLM space will be in a position to appreciate it as much as possible, but people who are actually outside this, we will try to simulate the environment by that they can able to understand how the data, technology, as well as this new generation IT systems are all working together to come out with the value for this end users as well as in the business. Okay, so what I have depicted here is the global engineering business context. You see, there are three major things. Okay? One is the owners and operators, and the second one is it starts with this OEMs who are actually making these equipments, and third one is the tier one suppliers. These are all the three major powerhouses of the engineer-to-order ecosystems. But you see, now they are actually globally spread. It could be right from the US, right from the third world, emerging countries, developing economies. It could be of anywhere. They are globally spread. So within this, if you take one as an example of OEMs, anything, it could be of Alstom or GE or Mitsubishi. There are so many divisions for so many product lines, right from marketing, sales, application engineering, detail engineering, sourcing, quality. They are also widely spread across the globe. Engineer-to-order companies, if you take, for every inquiry, there is a new specification is going to come. The requirements are unique, and the specifications are becoming unique. So for every order, there is a custom engineering has to be performed. So already the things are very complex. It is not same as your automobile or your telephone or anything, mobile industries, where you actually define your concepts and then go ahead to the market. Here actually the inquiries which comes out with the new requirements, for that you have to actually come out with a response, and then you meet the time to market. So with this, with the globally spread, the complexity and difficulties, it's a really imaginable. Time to market, and the time overrun, cost overrun, your schedule slippage, repeated reruns, multiple iterations, engineering changes again and again. So end of the day, this all actually making a complexity. So that's what ETO companies and the ecosystem, they are looking for a knowledge-based automation system which actually talks to a historical information that you already have, which is globally spread. At the time of inquiry and at the time of order execution, how I connect all those things when I am doing the actual cost estimation, or I am submitting a proposal, or I am deriving out the solutions. So this is what the ETO2 solution. So by that, if you come out with this kind of technology which connects globally, by that people can actually do design anywhere, build anywhere, and then they can operate anywhere. So with this principle, actually the ETO2WIN works. So next one is our, what is actually ecosystem, how it is going to be. The external partner reliance for development is really increasing. Okay, we are actually working with some of the customers for the last 20, 25 years. And now we are actually started hearing from them. I am not in a position to manage everything on my own. For example, in 1990, the large OEMs who are actually managing the products, around 50% of engineering and design, manufacturing are all taken care of by them. But now when we are talking to them, more than 70% is actually done outside. And it is going to increase much more. For example, in 2020, they are going to come up with something like 95% is globally coming outside. So you have to believe one thing. For example, one of the most complex jet engines, 70% of engineering and then 80% of manufacturing is actually done outside. the core portion, maybe hardly 10 to 15% is still retained by these actual engineer to order OEM companies. So this is what the current ecosystems. So the reason why they are going, it's just not because of the cost arbitrage, or it's just not because of this capacity or something. It's also the technology trends. Each and every individual suppliers, they come up with their own specialization, and then they promote the OEMs, the operators. They all feel there is a value in it, and I need to go and adapt this. Okay, so that is the reason it is going to be a global ecosystem. This is what we actually mean. So the community of suppliers, partners, OEMs, vendors, technologies, including analysts, everybody is going to work together. That is what the trend is coming up. So by that, you see the space, whether it's OEM, he is going to have one single space where everybody will be in a position to work together. So that's all the Internet of Things and the data acquisitions, all these things helps here. So by that, you can have the design integrity, your security, data systems, and then what kind of rapid collaborations, visualizations, all those things are going to come and help here. So keeping these facts in mind, so what ETO2WIN is? ETO2WIN is PLM based solutions where actually we have, it's a value enabling framework for the ETO enterprise, where you have pre-built solution elements already placed. Pre-built solution elements means I don't need to go and reinvent the wheel for each and every engineering executions, whereas I can just go and place here and there. By that, the implementation time will be very quick, and then predefined processes already within this. So it should supposed to cover the entire stream of ETO, that is inquiry to order, order to remittance, and then service life cycle. And of course, this is well backed by the technology from Siemens, with the Teamcenter as the basic platform, and RuleStream as a configurator, and then NX as a CAD platform. So all these things are going to work together with the best-in-class practices, and then the process well-defined solution elements. So this ETO2WIN actually comes as a market. Okay. So having seen this kind of context and then the solution, what is the answer that we have? To start with, this is the number one. Is there a way in which can I have everything in a single platform? It's not a single system, it's a single platform. Single platform actually helps, it takes care of your maintenance and upgrades, all those things. So can I put everything in a single platform to take care of this? Is this a typical engineer to order scenario? Whenever you are an application engineer and you are responding to an inquiry, you have to manage bundles and bundles of project inquiry documents. Then you have to have the sales inquiry qualifications. Getting into the customer requirements, the application engineer browses through multiple pages, and then he actually finds out which is the most relevant one that comes to him. Then he actually goes for the what is your product spec, which is already defined, whether it is configured or not. How do I map my requirements to specifications? Then is there a way in which I can make the specifications to talk to the product structure? Product structure is a definition of bill of material. So from there, how do I estimate the cost? Is there any legal compliance? How do I verify it? From there, how do I actually generate the actual proposal content document? You see the series of steps and functions which are involved, who manages so many IT systems, so many different legacy applications, so many documents. Is there a way can I actually bundle everything and put it into one thing? So as a business leader, I might ask all those questions. Okay, put it in a single platform, and you have a series of steps. Is there a way can I automate everything together? So how do I do a process streamlining? Can I make some of the processes which could be parallel, some of the manual laborious process could get automated, some of the unwanted manual checking process could be eliminated. So these are the ways. And the next one is, can I make the system to be accessible globally? So there are three major questions that needs to get addressed by this thing. So actually, yes, that's what the answer we would like to give. In the sense, we have come up with some kind of solution right from the inquiry till the time you develop the proposal and then submit to the customer. You can build all these things together into a single pack, and then try to streamline all the processes, and then with the predefined configured solution elements that adds tremendous value. So I would like to take a while and then to run through a simulation of the project, not the same project, by that it could reach you. Okay. Okay. So here you go. First you start with the inquiry comes from the customer. The customer inquiry is being registered and it is getting classified. So there is auto definition of inquiry. Whenever it's not like olden days, now all these inquiries are actually digitally you can manage, and you can always trace back these inquiries, and then to which customer and what year for what purpose that I have done. All those things are being captured as a first step. So you could make the intelligent scheduling at the time of inquiry itself, like what date that I am going to respond, and what are all the pipeline deliveries are already there for me to respond. So once the inquiry is actually created, it actually comes out with the total bidding structure. So the bidding structure actually talks about your what are all the associated information that should go with an inquiry, like your cost sheets, technical documents, commercial documents, and all those stuffs. So as I see, we have seen cases that are about 20 to 30, 40 documents for each, and everything consists of 200, 100 pages that are being given to the OEMs as tender documents. So the application engineer has to go through all these documents as a process, and then he even takes weeks time to understand what it is. So we are actually going to see how the system actually helps in coming out with the precise extraction of the requirements from this. So here is another main area where this is done at the rule stream, where you talk about right from the customer requirements, specifications, until the selection, sizing, up to the level of report, how all these functions could get aligned in one single system, and then all those things can intelligently link. That means any change in any area of the link that actually cascaded its effect to actually automatically captures from the document, the PDF or the Word document actually can push all this information digitally to your requirements library. So for any product structure, it works like a requirements and then specifications. Requirements are actually stated by the customer for what application, for what need that he has to do. And for the specification is one which actually going to define your product boundary and product structure. So with the requirements, we create requirements at the system level, subsystem level, and then the component level. By that we could actually link all these requirements to the specifications. So here what the application engineers is actually, once the requirements is done, all these specifications which are rule based, and then it could actually talk to them and then comes out with a value. Then he goes for performing the standard selection and sizing. So standard selection and sizing, you could use this system as two ways. One is like a configurator, another one is the knowledge based engineering. Configurator is the one, it's a predefined variants where the application engineer can directly pick, I have 15 to 20 variants, and then from there I'm going to pick the right choice, so I'm going to generate the bill of material like this. But there are some times in which the predefined variants are not going to be there in the inquiry, because the requirements are going to be very unique. So at that time, the system will behave like a knowledge-based engineering. You have rules, formulas, and then empirical relationships, which actually it simulates the engine, and then this is the right set of combination for you, and then the item is generated dynamically. So this is the difference between a configurator and the knowledge-based engineering. So this system actually accommodates both. So here first what you are seeing is the bill of material is generated. From the bill of material, you can write some kind of costing equation, costing rules based on the items definition, like your part definition and whatever is the material and how you procure, what is your discount pricing. All those things could be built into costing rules. So costing actually comes out automatically. So normally it is in the earlier days it was performed in many of the ERPs. Now PLM system can also accommodate these kind of things to give right precise costing even at the level of inquiry. So what's happening after this? Okay, so end of the day, we normally used to come out with some kind of proposals. The proposal authoring, it takes all your conditions and terms and conditions and your performance curves, and then what is the requirement cost, all those things. We normally do all those things manually. So nowadays, the things like this kind of rule stream PLM systems, which dynamically captures all the requirements, everything together, and then comes out with actual automatic proposal system in a flash. So this is the way I was just trying to simulate the condition in which how the total enquiry process could be automated using a single system. So it is a single platform, and then the entire stream of operations could get automated together, and then it could be globally accessible. What we did is we actually implemented this system and put it in a thin client for a oil drilling major. What the oil drilling anomaly is going to happen in the desert or in the coal mines in so many places. So where the application engineer or even the sales functionality people who could actually get into the thin client, and then he could perform whatever the configuration requirements, and then he can have access to this system. So it is globally accessible, streamlined functionalities, and then it is automated. Okay, so this is what is actually getting into this is the inbuilt process landscape. We defined the right from the L0, L1, L2, L3, L4, all the process, how it has to articulate right from the scratch. By that, how it should get configured into the systems. They are all pre-engineered, so the implementation time actually takes really shorter and really quick. So these are all some of the established credentials where we have gone through this. Some of the, if you see some of OEM's turbo machinery power major, where the lead time has been reduced from 2 months to 1 day. Most of the automation benefits you will see, if the right implementation takes more than 90-95% of benefits you could realize. So currently we are working with the Japanese OEM where we want to reduce the cycle time from 80 days to 30 days. And another vendor where we have reduced from 12 months to, so 22 months to 12 months is the actual lead time reduction for the order to remittance executions. So what we so far talked about is the inquiry to order, and we do have a set of similar kind of solution stack for the order to remittance, where you actually streamline your bill of material, and the bill of material process through right from the planning stage and the requirement stage, from the creation of the engineering bill of material, and we create the manufacturing bill of material and then bill of process. On those, all those things could also be totally automated, and then streamlined functionalities have been built in. So this is, as I was talking about, how do I globally collaborate with the suppliers. So this is what the global design exchange, which comes out with nowadays, modern days, we are actually talking about the active workspace and then thin client, where you can have synchronized product lifecycle management systems, or it's just, where you can have the package certain kind of information to your suppliers, and they can perform on top of it, and it can come back. So the technology currently enabling all these things. By that, the global seamless data exchange with security and confidentiality could be maintained very well. So here is the overall solution stack. We talked about certain things on the customer to inquiry to contract win. So we have order to remittance as well as the service lifecycle management solutions. All these things forms as one single boundary of ETO2WIN. And it's really beneficial to say that as of now, the Siemens Teamcenter actually plays as one of the backbone which integrates your ACMs and CRMs and ERPs together along with the PLM data. By that, all this integrated as well as extended boundaries of the enterprise could get connected in a seamless way, which manages the entire data. So here are some of the value levers with a large amount of experience and then global partnership. Understanding this industry's needs are actually basic asset for us to going ahead and implementing these kind of or deriving these kind of systems. And you could also visit us some of this podcast as well as these offerings in the open world. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.